I had nobody again to talk to, but the times now were even deeper than they ever were in my life. I couldn't call my mom, my dad, my sister. They would have just said, just leave, just leave. And I'm like, but I'm still in love. I don't know what to do. Like, are you serious with this? This is really going down.
Kevin Hunter is now facing karma for what he did to Wendy Williams as Sharina just dumped his broken unemployed ass. Now, I'm not one to gossip, but this tea right here is too hot for me to sip all by myself, y'all.
I don't recommend that you work with your husband because I made him my manager. And then when I decided to divorce him, he had to be fired. In other words, I made him divorced and unemployed all in one day.
Now, Kevin is drowning in broke, homeless, and credit cards, okay? He is a hot mess, and Sharina has just made it clear that she has no plans of sticking with him. She gathered herself and their 3-year-old daughter and moved right back into her mama's house. According to sources close to Kevin, they're saying that he believes Sharina used him and now left him broke. Okay, so to give you some context of how Kevin even arrived at this situation and this whole drama, it actually started in 2019 when Wendy filed for divorce from Kevin. Now, Kevin was even stepping out on Wendy with his mistress Sharina, even when he was married to Wendy, and Wendy decided to look the other way so she could stay married. But when Kevin had a whole baby with Sharina, Wendy decided enough was enough, and she filed for divorce and even fired Kevin as her manager.
For him having this side girl for almost 15 years of our marriage. I've known about her almost since the beginning. I've known that Kevin is a serial cheat. The first time I found out was while I was pregnant with our son on bed rest.
In fact, even Sharina's own family members blamed her for being a major reason for the downfall of Wendy and Kevin's marriage. Sharina's uncle blasted her and called her a homewrecker. He said, quote, "She should know right from wrong. She left her home state of South Carolina years ago and hasn't returned to see her family, not even on holidays." As if this wasn't bad enough, Wendy was also ordered to pay alimony to Kevin after their divorce, which became his main source of income. Sharina was living her best life and even opened up a bunch of businesses, which all failed terribly. Kevin even put her through school to be a massage therapist, opened up a kiosk for her at a mall in North Carolina, and also helped set up a jewelry and clothing line for her called Vish. And Wendy's coins were used to finance all of this. Kevin himself even opened up a barbershop, which, of course, failed miserably. And I mean, if y'all know Wendy, then y'all know it was just a matter of time before she said something. I mean, if she can't stop him from wasting her money, she should have at least been able to throw some shade, right?
She was one of these, less than smart women who moved to the big city with bright lights. And she wanted to be a model. And so you know how the girls with the sparkler champagne bottles at the club, they get people to spend more money, they dress scantily clad and things like that.
But see, Wendy wasn't done with them yet. When her show got canceled, she stopped sending them alimony checks, and as you can expect, this drove Kevin crazy. He was running out of money to fund the lavish lifestyle he and his mistress had gotten used to. All of the money that he had already been wasted by trying to set up all those failed businesses. He then had the audacity to drag Wendy to court for being behind on her alimony payments. He said the payments from Wendy were his only source of income, and he had nothing left to keep him afloat. In court documents obtained by the U.S. Sun, he was quoted saying, "I have fallen behind on most of my bills. I currently live in a community that requires payments to the homeowners association, and I'm behind on that bill. If the homeowners association fees are not paid, a foreclosure will soon follow." He also added, "My car insurance hasn't been paid as a result of not receiving monthly severance payments. I'm behind on my credit card payments because I have no money since the severance payments have been suspended. My life is greatly affected since the plaintiffs stopped making payments under our settlement agreement." Oh, honestly, it's giving clownery. How are you going to live off the money of your ex-wife and not think to save anything? Like they really thought they hit the jackpot and Wendy was just going to keep giving them checks forever? He also said he needs some sort of hip surgery he can't afford. Ciao. Anyways, the judge saw through Kevin's antics and denied him his request. The judge said his request was not emergent and ordered his application to be dismissed without prejudice. You see though, really, Wendy played Kevin. Because Wendy made this clause in the alimony agreement, which I think Kevin forgot to read, that she was only to pay him if she was still on the show. And if you're wondering, this means that Wendy will only be forced to pay Kevin once she starts working. Well, she specified in the divorce documents that she can only pay Kevin if she's doing mainstream television. And if you look at her social media, you would see she's gearing up to do more podcasts. Wendy was always playing chess and not checkers. Some people are even saying Wendy must have strategically planned this whole thing out so she could pull herself out of paying Kevin all that money. See, Wendy finally getting her lick back after all of the embarrassment that Kevin put her through all these years.
Pulled out my spray paint. And I spray painted Kevin and Wendy forever. And to this day.
Like literally, Kevin just bought a house 9 miles from Wendy's place using Wendy's money where he lived with Sharina. He was literally just out to get and taunt Wendy.
And I read about it in the blogs and the tabloids, the address of this place that he had purchased to share with this backwoods 9 miles from my house in Livingston. And they're living the high life.
And now that all of the money is gone, he's gonna be homeless because he put the house up for sale for $1.2 million. He also took out a loan from a company called Flex Wealth to pay for 2 luxury cars, which he now has to pay for.
This backwoods Barbie, he was tricking up money. She's in the passenger seat of my Rolls Royce Ferrari. And really? Really?
He's also being sued by UBS Bank for failing to make payments on his credit card debts worth over 5 figures. To add up to all this, Sharina also dumped him and sprinted right back to her mama's house because she is not about that broke boy lifestyle. And trust, baby, that child support, it's just around the corner. Sharina even deleted all the photos of him from her social media and unfollowed him. Kevin is a mess, and Wendy is not feeling sorry for him. In fact, a source told OK Magazine that Wendy's been smiling more since she heard of the news of Kevin being broken up and dumped by Sharina. And as for Kevin, well, sources are saying that he's panicking now that all his money's dried up. I mean, his businesses have failed and his boo thing has walked out. Some are even alleging that he's planning to sweet talk Wendy into taking him back and asking for forgiveness. In fact, some people are actually worried that Wendy could probably take him back, considering she let him cheat all those years just so she could stay married to him. A lot of people ran to social media and celebrated karma finally catching up with Kevin and Sharina for taking advantage of Wendy and trying to milk her. Like this person who said, Wendy is too smart to let those cheaters get away with what they did to her. She was always good at giving revenge advice. It's possible that she planned for some of this stuff. At least that's what I'm hoping for. Another person joined in and said Wendy knew what she was doing. Watch how fast Wendy recovers because he was still holding on thinking that Wendy would be back working. He's a derelict. And this other person joked about Sharina walking out on Kevin, saying, wasn't he just saying Sharina Hudson was his soulmate? LOL. My, what a couple of years with no alimony payments make. I really hope Wendy doesn't fall for this. But now I want to know your thoughts. How do you feel about Sharina dumping Kevin right after his money ran out? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below and click here to watch this other messy video.